What's up, Heather?
What's up, B?
Today, we have another Hoppy Wednesday episode. Now, I'm looking forward to this one. Damien, the owner of Hoppy Endings, came through with 3 different cask finishes out of his own private collection of Old Elk. Old Elk is a distillery out of Colorado that's been winning some major awards in the bourbon world. And I'm glad they're winning awards in the bourbon world and not another world.
Not some other world?
Probably wouldn't be as excited.
Probably not. And that'd be a little weird. We just happened to have their regular blended bourbon on our shelf already.
So, I mean, for science.
For science.
We should do all 4.
Obviously, we are nothing if not dedicated and thorough.
That's right. We believe in the scientific process.
We do.
While we're being thorough, let's remind everyone again that today's episode is brought to you by Hoppy Endings, the best place in the Southeast to find bourbon, beer, and maybe anything else you could want. I don't know. What else do you want? What do you want?
What else could you want out of life? Tequila.
Oh, yeah, they got tequila?
Tequila. As always, we will link their socials in the episode notes. Be sure you check them out. They're well worth a stop. And while you're at it, if you're new here, welcome. And please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We are grateful for all of our new friends as well as our old ones.
She really means that. She considers you all her friends. She's probably going to get you all Christmas cards. I'm surprised you don't already get birthday cards. Are y'all pen pals? Do you trade notes on what to wear? Well, regardless, if you haven't yet, why don't you become her friend by following us on all these social thingies like X and Insta and the Facebook?
Okay, now that he's done and the YouTube gods are satisfied, let's get back to bourbon.
That's my favorite part.
Is it?
I like picking on you too.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Now, if you've been watching us for the past few weeks, and thank you if you have, you know we've been discussing cask finishing and what it does for the bourbon. And we discovered in our last cask finishing episode that if you start with a subpar bourbon,
it's not going to save it.
You get subpar cask finished bourbon.
It might give it some nuance. It might give it some fun flavor. It's not going to save it.
It doesn't save it.
It's not going to save it.
Nope.
Cask finishing is kind of a trend right now. In fact, Old Elk has an entire cask finish series that they've been doing for several years. They are limited edition, so once it's gone, it's gone.
So once those casks are used, they burn them,
to the
destroy
ground.
them.
Burn it all to the ground.
Can't have any more.
Giant bonfire.
There, it's gone.
That's exactly what happened.
Sure. All the cask finish series are based on their High-Malt Straight Bourbon Whiskey and Straight Rye Whiskey mash bills. They have secondary aging in a different type of barrel, whether that be rum, Cognac, port, or this one we can't pronounce.
That's true. Each one is aged 5 to 6 years, so at least 5 is what they all say.
Yep.
And then they spend 2 to 12 more months in the imported barrels. And like B said, almost all of them are based on this mash bill from the Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Now we're going to start with the base mash bill, the High-Malt Straight Bourbon Whiskey. That's a lot in one word. Of one title. All right, so the mash bill for this one is 51% corn, which we should say is the minimum it can be to be considered bourbon. Mm-hmm. Now, what makes it unique is it's 34% malted barley and 15% rye. Normally, those numbers are more full.
Yeah, hence the high malt description.
Yeah, so normally you get more corn, but the malt, you generally have a much lower percentage than anything. Mm-hmm. We've already discussed it. It's aged 5 years at least, and it proofs around 88. It proofs at 88, but the MSRP is around $40.
So for the aroma, we should get sweet caramel and vanilla, clove spice, slight maple, and nutty almond, as opposed to non-nutty almonds.
All those non-nutty almonds.
All those non-nutty almonds. All right, let's give it a sniff. That's definitely nutty almond, not non-nutty almond.
It's not a nun? I'm glad it's not a nun. Doesn't smell like a nun.
I don't know what a nun smells like.
But you saved one of them's purse.
We
saved a nun's purse.
That's a story for another day. That's a great story. I would rather say we saved her life, really.
We saved her purse.
Which had her important life documents in it.
Okay, fair.
All right, so I definitely get caramel. Do you say caramel or caramel?
Caramel.
Okay.
I definitely get sweet vanilla. I definitely get almond. And there's a little maple.
There is some maple in there in the background.
Yeah.
So what should we get on the taste, B?
Maple syrup.
Ooh.
More almonds. Raw bran.
Like Raisin Bran?
I guess this helps your digestive tract.
It's medicinal.
Yeah. Chocolate, deep wood, and coconut.
That's a really interesting combination.
The coconut's kind of...
it's like a curveball
Yeah.
that just kind of swung in there. So the finish should be smooth, coat the tongue, and have a lasting flavor. You ready?
Yeah, might as well. Let's drink some bourbon.
The finish got you a little different, right? It's a little sweeter. The front end of the taste is what in the past we have described as earthy. For me, it's got a little bit of that, again, what we have called earthy in the past on the very, very front end.
You think that's kind of clove?
Maybe. I definitely do get the clove, the wood, even though I don't make a habit of chewing on wood. I get that descriptor. I'm not getting the coconut.
No, I don't know what that is.
The chocolate I can get behind. I can kind of pull that out towards the end.
Okay.
But that's pretty much what I'm getting. It does coat the tongue. It has a good mouthfeel.
It does have a good mouthfeel.
It
That's...
does.
See, when things become distillate, and then I understand the science of that. What I don't understand is how those properties reform in the liquid. And what I'm getting with that is there's more malt, right? And when you drink a malty beer, there's a mouthfeel to it. But I also know, I mean, I've made beer before, and the water gets washed over the grains. When you're distilling it, you're obviously distilling it, which means it's vaporizing and then reforming. So I'm having difficulty with the science of that, of how that affects the mouthfeel, but it obviously does. What I'm saying is when the water travels over the malt and you make your wort and it's there, it's not evaporating. So the grain is there. You've washed the grain. Here you make that wort, it evaporates in the still. It distills. And then it formulates back into a liquid. The vapor
becomes a liquid.
It condensates and becomes a liquid. So I understand in my head how the malt is affecting the mouth in a beer because it's always a liquid. I don't understand the scientific property of the transfer of those properties from liquid to gas to liquid. I'm not that smart.
Me either. We'll have to ask someone a little more sciencey than us.
Yeah, we'll find that person.
We know if we like it or if we don't like it. And how do we feel about this?
You could have told me that this was a little higher proof and I would have believed it.
I understand where you're coming from with that. It drinks a little higher.
Okay. Then I don't feel... Okay.
No, it's not you. I thought the same thing when I tasted it the first time. So where does that rank for you?
I like it. It is a little different.
It is a little different. Not alarmingly so.
Well, no.
Not off-putting.
No.
But it is a little
Or
different.
vanilla pudding.
Or
chocolate pudding.
Hey, it's a little chocolate.
Got a little chocolate, but it's not pudding.
No, it's not pudding.
But no, I do like it. It's unique. There's so much bourbon in that $40 area. Somebody's going to go out of business over the next few months or years, but I don't think they are. I think they've got something that's unique, right?
Well, and the high malt is a little something different.
Yeah.
So they're playing around with it. They're finding their niche.
And we've had some Old Elk products before.
The cigar cask is the one we thought was amazing, right?
Yeah. So, I really like it. I just really don't know how to rate it. It's just a little different. So it's kind of hard to rank. I mean, because a lot of the bourbons we taste at $40 come in at
Dog Will Hunt.
And I don't really know that this is a Dog Will Hunt for me. But I'm not saying it's a bless your heart.
No.
So look at our little rating that's on her shoulder over here. That's where it will be. Yeah.
It's not a bless your heart.
No. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where I want to put it in this world of. For $40, it's a good buy. With a unique flavor. So in that regard, it's a Dog Will Hunt. To me, it's not an everyday sipper for my palate, but I really like it. There we go. I finally articulated.
There you go. I like that.
It's worth the $40 that it is.
You're just not going to necessarily reach for it every day.
Correct.
Right. But it belongs on the shelf. It has a spot.
It absolutely has a spot
totally
by its uniqueness and what it's doing.
Yeah.
And what I'm curious about, because it is a solid starter, what Damien wanted us to explore was, well, what does the cask do? And I think this is a good palate because the maltiness gives it a mouthfeel. So now we just have to give it a finish.
Right, and it's I'm really glad that all of the cask finishes we have tonight are all based on this mash bill. So truly all we're going to be comparing is what the barrel did. Whether it be the port barrel, the cognac barrel, or the word I don't know, what that does to it.
That being said, our first cask finish, Heather will introduce.
All right, so apologies to anyone out there who speaks French. This is the Armagnac barrel cask finish. It's French. I don't know, guys. So the mash bill.
We tried to say it in a Scottish accent. It doesn't work.
It was kind of fun, though.
Armagnac. With my haggis. It's not Scottish. Crap.
That's going in the outtakes. So the mash bill.
Not Scottish, it's crap.
If you want to hear more of me speaking in a Scottish accent, go see our Kentucky Owl episode with the... How do we say it?
Magister.
There we go. It was fantastic. If you're into Outlander, it's basically the same thing.
Yep, that's what this show is. Outlander. Or Highlander, for that matter.
Except you just touch the barrel and you're transported. Anyway, so the mash bill for this one is the exact same as the one we just talked about. 51% corn, 34% malted barley, and 15% rye. Same thing, it ages at least 5 years, but then it spent 6 months in the Armagnac.
Armagnac.
Just like that. It comes at 108.3 proof, and MSRP was around $90. So this particular member of the Cask Finish series actually isn't available right now. And to be totally honest, as you can tell, I had never heard of Armagnac before, but apparently it is a French brandy.
Brandy's a fine girl.
She is.
Fine wife she would be. But the life, the love of my lady is the sea.
But this brandy.
But French brandy is not in my... No. I don't have a lot of French brandy back there.
No, we have exactly none, actually.
It's supposed to give us flavors of butter.
I will say, though, I'm looking forward to see what it does to the bourbon.
Yeah, I mean...
We have no expectations because we don't know what it tastes like.
Yeah, right. But it is supposed to give us flavors of butterscotch, malted chocolate, which would go along with the malted feel, dark berry, spice, and earthy undertones. So maybe more like a farm.
Let's see what we get. It's a different smell. It's unique.
So I get the earthy I do get the earthy undertones.
Yeah.
It's a deep inhale, and there's this earthy undertone. And I'm not saying mildew, right?
No. I get what you're saying. It's like a field in Scotland.
When I'm standing on the hills in Scotland, on the Highlands, and I look down across the plain, and there I see my love.
Just like that.
No. Because I was thinking...
Again, y'all, it's Outlander.
I was thinking farm, fall, rain.
All fair. Let's give it a taste. Farm. Woo, that's got a little heat. Yeah, it hits you, doesn't it?
Armagnac. Armagnac.
Didn't expect French brandy to pack such a punch.
How couldn't they put up a better fight in World War II if this is what they had?
They did save our asses, though, in the Revolutionary War, so...
There's that.
We'll give them that.
We got French fries. Moulin Rouge. Cheese.
French kisses. Thanks, France.
Yeah, good stuff.
The Louvre is pretty awesome. Eiffel Tower.
Tour de France.
Again. Thanks, France. Liberté.
Okay, they invented independence and freedom and democracy, but...
They did not invent democracy. That was the Greeks.
Okay, fair. They didn't invent democracy. They just modernized it.
Yeah, they did modernize it.
They cut some people's heads off in the process.
Whoopsie. Do you hear the people sing?
There she goes.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah.
No, they always put it in a basket. They were very refined, okay? They didn't let the head roll. They had a nice little picnic basket.
But what happens when the basket gets full? Right on the street.
Wow.
This is spicy.
It is very spicy. Like,
this is spicy.
Real spicy. The tasting notes undersold the spice.
Yeah, it should say spice.
And then maybe some
Earthy,
hints of other things. Yes.
But spice.
I agree with
Butterscotch I'm not getting.
I don't get butterscotch. I don't get... It's honestly spicy and earthy tones. I don't really even get chocolate.
The spice is forward. Very forward.
It's
not a bad thing, but it's just forward.
It's forward and throughout.
It's like a dancer at Moulin Rouge. It's right out there.
There's some heat in the back end, too. And look, B and I don't shy away from heat. But
okay, so it's heat, but there's also... There's a peppery burn to it on the tongue.
Mm-hmm. My tongue is burning right now.
So one of the criticisms people give us sometimes is, well, what are you talking about by heat? And it's a fair criticism. Mm-hmm. So here I actually feel like there's a little fire on my tongue, but not a cinnamon fire, a pepper fire.
A pepper fire on the tongue and a little bit at the top of the throat, too.
Yeah. I'm really having some technical issues. I'm sorry it keeps sliding down. But yeah, it definitely has...
There's some pepper.
Yeah.
Like, this feels like bourbon that, like, you might need some Tums after. Like, it's going to hurt a little bit.
I mean, this is hard to be a post-dinner drink because, whew.
This is the one you bust out if, like,
not after Indian food.
You've had a hell of a day.
But not Indian food.
No.
I mean, it was...
God.
And I eat some Indian food.
Oh, I'll kill some Indian food, but... You're going to regret it. If you combine Indian food and that, you're going to live rough for a little while.
I'm going to invest in Alka-Seltzer. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
All right. What are we... I don't even know what to rank this.
Fire.
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 We need a blowtorch. We're like, whoosh. Me? I don't know. I'm still burning a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm still... I feel like steam's going to come out of my ears.
I think I'm going to pass my kidney stone from this pretty quick, actually. I don't think it rates well on our scale. I think it's...
It's an outlier.
It is. Hey, you know what's cool about this? They get to put this out there. They get to say, here's our unique offering. It's based on this pretty good base that you like. And... this brings the heat. Do you like it? If you do, great. If not, we only made so many bottles of it, and who cares?
Get over it.
Yeah, you paid $90, move on. So try the next one. And so it's unique. It's a really unique offering.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with it. I'm glad I tried it. If I had been in a bar and I had seen it and some awesome bartender like Lydia said, hey, you got to try this. It's different. I would not be upset that I paid for and tried it.
No. And I would enjoy discussing it.
Yeah. Do I want to buy a bottle of it?
No.
Probably not. Am I glad I'm drinking his bottle of it? Yeah, it's fantastic. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good... and I think you're right. It lies outside of our rating scale.
Yeah, because this isn't one that you're going to keep on the shelf and be like... Because you can't. I mean, it's...
No, it's a limited offering, A. B, it's a little expensive. And C, it's not one you're going to reach for every day.
Well, if you are, you must have like...
The stomach of steel.
Yeah, I mean, you must be Superman and not affected. This is definitely kryptonite for me. And I like 130 proof stuff.
That's what I just said. You don't... Neither of us
so
shy away from
it's
heat.
not the heat. It's not out. It is...
That's
what I'm getting at. There's... It's not like a habanero, but I mean, but there's something that burns the tongue.
Yeah.
Like a pepper. Like
in the throat, yeah.
Like a hot black pepper. I don't know how to describe it.
Almost like white pepper, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
And with the smell, I really wasn't expecting that.
It definitely tastes more fiery than it smells.
Fiery.
Right. So next we have the Port Cask Finish, which if I had my guess, it's going to be a little more mellow than what we just had, but we'll see. So it comes in, again, same mash bill. Not going to restate it. Again, minimum of 5 years. Again, proof point is 108. And again, it comes in around $90. So the secondary finishing for this one is, like I said, port, but it's a port barrel from Portugal. It's very exotic. The finish is going to give us, that finish in the port barrel is going to bring us aromas of oak and sweet honey. Okay, I can get behind some honey, especially towards the end.
A darker honey. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now the taste is supposed to give us deep, rich, ripe fruit. Say that 5 times fast. Honey, this one I don't. Orchid. Have you
that
ever?
really bothers you. I've never tasted an orchid personally. No. So maybe a floral taste. I don't really taste florals, but we'll try.
And apples with oak. The finish should bring a little smoke. Well, that brought the fire, so maybe this brings the smoke.
On that note, I should probably have some water before we try this one. So the port barrel finish is a regular in their cask finish series, and this particular member has won some awards, including top 20 most exciting whiskeys of 2023.
So it's supposed to be a banger.
It's a banger. Let's give it a try. That was a good clink.
There's a smoke.
There's the smoke. I don't taste an orchid.
I wouldn't know if I was. Deep, rich, ripe honey. Fruit, I get. I mean, deep, rich, ripe fruit. I'm telling you, 5 times in a row, and you'll get censored by that group. Deep, rich, ripe fruit. I get that.
Yeah, I especially get it right before the heat hits you.
Yep.
And then right after is where I get the honey.
Yep.
The smoke, like you said, and it finishes with the smokiness. Like a hickory mesquite smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like this one. We had another port finish earlier today, right?
Yeah.
Angel's Envy.
Yeah.
And I kind of like this one better. This one has a little more, the word I'm trying to steer clear from, but it has a little more complexity to it, in my opinion, than the Angel's Envy did. And it proofs a little higher. I prefer this one to the Armagnac cask that we just tried. Because for me, the heat doesn't overpower the flavor profile in this one. What do you think?
It has a bittersweetness.
Okay. Like a dark chocolate.
Like a dark chocolate.
Okay. Or that's maybe the deep,
Or
rich,
the
ripe
deep
fruit.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's not a zest.
No, it's not
not
citrusy.
an orange. It's not lemon.
It's not citrus.
No. But that's the port speaking. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is the port speaking. Mm-hmm. In terms of port finishes, it's probably one of the better ones I had, if not the one that's the best that I've had.
I really like, I don't know if you're getting it right now, but I like the lingering flavor on this one a lot. It leaves a nice, you have to.
You have to.
You have to let it linger.
It does have a nice lingering.
It has a nice, sweet, pleasant, lingering taste profile.
So, as I've said before on the show, port's not my thing. Mm-hmm. Port finishes I don't think are my thing. However, I think if that is your thing, this is a hush your mouth.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that you'll really enjoy it, and for that benefit, it's a hush your mouth.
Yeah, it's a hush your mouth for me.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm not going to reach for it as much, but I think someone who really likes that taste profile is going to reach for it.
Mm-hmm. It's solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's beyond solid.
It's solid.
And I do think it's better than the... Now, to be fair, the Angel's Envy is less expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think this is better.
I do too. And they clearly have figured out what they're doing with their cask series finishes. And
I think the mouthfeel on this is better than the Angel's Envy.
Oh, I would 100% agree with that. The Angel's Envy runs a little thin for me.
The regular does, yeah.
The regular, yes, not the triple oaked. Not at all the triple oaked. I'm just speaking of the regular.
There's a lot of what happens. 70% of what happens, at least, is what happens in here.
Which is remarkable to me.
All right. So, with that being said, we go on to one more different type of barrel, and this is Cognac.
Cognac. So you go ahead on the details on this one.
It's the same mash
pretty
bill.
much the same.
Now, I have put it on the screen for you, but it's the same mash bill. Once again, it's minimum age to 5 years. Now, this, they kick up a proof point to 109.7, so they're living dangerously.
What's the MSRP on this bad boy?
About $85.
And it did spend 10 months in the cognac cask.
There we go.
So the nose on this one is supposed to bring us deep fruit, oat, and sweet honey. And on the oat, I want to go back really quick.
Being it's cognac, am I supposed to?
Oh, yes. Well, of course. Of course.
Here we go.
You need to be in your leather chair, but I guess we'll allow this.
I have many leather-bound books.
So, but really quick, I wanted to bring up on the port finish. And so this one we're supposed to get some oat. And remember, in one of the others, we were supposed to get some bran.
Yeah, the original.
So in the port one, I did get a little bit of that, like, cereal like flavor.
Okay.
Like sweet bran sort of situation. Okay. So I'm interested to see if we get it here.
So this brings deep fruit, oat, and sweet honey.
Oh, the deep fruit is there at the beginning.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So when we're talking about finishing in types of, for lack of a better term, wine barrels.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
That all comes from deep colored fruit.
Wine.
Yeah, it's coming from deep colored fruit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
you're saying it's kind of an obvious statement.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to smell more like...
Wine smells like grapes. So thank you. Yeah, great. Good observation. It's honestly like putting oak in the descriptor for bourbon.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. You don't say.
Yeah, woohoo.
Hey, did you know barrels are made of wood?
There we go. Now the flavor should bring deep, rich, and ripe fruit. Once again, say it 5 times and try not to get censored.
That's fair. Especially after you've had 4 different finishes of Old Elk.
There's the cognac. Okay, hot take. They have clinky clink with their base. They've got a really good base that they can paint on.
It's a canvas.
Yeah, and they do a really good job of it. That's really good.
I figured this was going to be your favorite.
Yeah, but the aftertaste, the finish, the longer it sits on my tongue, the better this is getting.
This one has a distinctive like plum flavor to me.
Is that what that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely get the, excuse me, let me say this very carefully, deep, rich, and ripe fruit. That's accurate.
Yeah. This is a hush your mouth.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or is that just you telling me to hush?
Well, that too. But it's a hush your mouth. It's really good. It has a great finish. It's very distinct. It's my favorite of the 4.
I would have called that.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a hush your mouth for me too. I'm not sure if I like this or the port finish better. I like both of these a lot.
Okay.
But
fair.
This is very drinkable.
You know what we learned, Tyler?
What?
If you have a good canvas, you got a better chance of painting on it well.
It's harder to screw up. Yeah,
one or the other. And that's what they've done a good job of. And that's why Old Elk is kind of doing its thing, right? And it's kind of setting them apart. Yeah. And the fact that they're over in Colorado, that makes it even more...
Well, that's also really interesting. You know, that's not exactly... You don't always associate in your head, oh, bourbon, Colorado. That's a hush your mouth.
Well...
So that was the cognac finish was your favorite?
Yes.
Okay. I'm tied between the port and the cognac.
Yep.
So I enjoyed this episode, and these are not the first Old Elk expressions we've tasted, and probably not the last.
No, we've got 1 or 2 other bottles of Old Elk on our shelves that we thought that maybe going more than 4 deep tonight was not a good idea.
Yeah, that's probably a poor life decision.
Yeah, and we're here to make good life decisions. We want you to make some good life decisions. It's a new year.
It's a new beat.
Make good life decisions.
Make good choices.
Make good life decisions.
Make good choices.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go out there and see the fine folks at Happy Endings. Tell them you're part of the Tortured Bourbon family. It won't get you a discount, but they might recognize you.
Maybe.
But I'm going to take the cognac finish.
Oh, well, I'm going to take the port finish.
And I'm going to say cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all.